is Bold TV.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Bold Stories. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been a while since we've come your way, and today we are here. And I'm sure you're wondering, what is Bold Stories? Bold Stories is an offshoot of Bold TV. It's powered by Bold Heart Initiative, and Bold stands for Beautiful, Outstanding Ladies with Disabilities. And on Bold Stories, what we do is we showcase women with disabilities who are doing extraordinary things in their different spheres. Women who are, talented, women who are intelligent, women who are skilled in different areas and are breaking not just glass ceilings, but in the case of women with disabilities, wooden ceilings. So today, I bring your way another powerful woman with disabilities who is doing amazing things in the tech sector. And so before we continue, I'm going to just introduce myself and then we will get to meet our guest for today. I'm glad you could join us. And I hope that you will, at the end of this program today, at the end of today's episode, you will be inspired and motivated to step up and show up as the most powerful version of you. So thank you once again for joining us. Without you, there would be no need for us to be here. So today, I am your host, Afyong Etem. I am based in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. I identify as a woman with disability because I use a wheelchair from spinal cord injury. I work as a medical lab scientist, amongst other things. But today, I am your host and anchor for this episode. So now we are going to meet our guest. We'll get to meet our guest. Her name is Miss Chika Halima Jinyemiema. And you'll get to meet her and you will know everything about who she is and what she is doing. So let's meet our guest.
Chika Halima is founder of KODE-E and Teen Titans. She lives with extreme low vision, legally blind, yet has pursued her passion to become a medical doctor and later trained as a disability specialist. Her personal journey has shown her that disability is not inability, and that with the right support, opportunities and mindsets, every child and youth can thrive. The inspiration for her work began in January of 2020 during a meeting in Jos. A sudden downpour with hailstones drew her attention to a nearby house whose roof had been blown away. Amidst the chaos, she saw a figure shivering inside, chained, blind, and underage. She rescued her, and that young girl, Nerat, became her first Teen Titan. Today, Nerat is 19 years old, a coder, an entrepreneur, and a young woman who provides for herself and her education. Her story embodies what drives Halima, transforming narratives from victimhood to victory. Through KODE-E and Teen Titans, they have empowered underprivileged children and youth, especially those with disabilities, to break barriers and rewrite their stories and future. KODE-E and Teen Titan operates in spaces often neglected or deemed unworthy of attention, yet rich with potential. The mission is simple but profound: to use technology, innovation, and advocacy to give every child and youth a voice, regardless of disability or circumstance. Chika Halima believes that when we change one life, we ignite a ripple effect that transforms families, communities, and society. That is why she does what she does. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bold TV, Chika Halima Jinyemiema, founder of KODE-E and Teen Titans.
Welcome back. Welcome. It's good to have you back with us. I'm sure from her profile and everything that has been, read, the video you've just seen, you believe me now that when I say that I have a powerful woman here with us today. So Chika, you are welcome to the show today. It's great to have you.
Thank you so much, and I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I know you've been our guest on Bold TV before, and believe me, I can tell you honestly that I was blown away, and truly impressed by what you've achieved so far. So thank you once again for being with us. So today we're going to...
Yes, I was.
Today we are going to delve deeper into who Chika Jinyemiema is. Would like to know more about you, and I hope that someone out there would be inspired. So first off, I'm going to ask you, before we start, I need a, before we go deeper, I need a little, background, personal background story. Specifically, how did you come to identity? How did you come, into the disability community? How did you become disabled? Was it acquired or were you born with it?
Okay, so when I was 3, I started wearing glasses. And, it was like, okay, she's having, let her just wear the glasses and everything. And we realized that every 6 months, they had to increase, the strength of my lens. And then they said, okay, take her to an optometrist. And we kept on moving from one doctor to another. And at a certain stage, they diagnosed me with macular degeneration. Now, macular degeneration is a condition where you slowly go blind over a long period of time. So there was nothing that could be done about it. At a certain stage, my parents, being wealthy at the time, they were able to take me to have laser surgeries, which was like cutting edge and never tried. And it was experimental at that time. So I went through like 4 laser surgeries. And yes, the degeneration did not stop, but it actually slowed down a whole lot. And by the time I was in the university, I found that I was what we call clinically blind, meaning I couldn't differentiate colors. I was basically seeing in black and white, and then I couldn't see without my glasses. So when the glasses is on, I see to a certain extent, and when the glasses is off, it's like a gray film covering everything. So I can't actually see without my glasses.
Wow.
So it's I've been living with for a very long time.
Wow. From the age of 3.
Yes.
Wow. That is a long journey. That has been quite a journey.
I remember always wearing my glasses.
And I'm sure you got a lot of questions and a lot of people staring and wondering why she always wearing this.
A lot of terrible nicknames in school: blind Bartimaeus, blind Bart, 4 eyes, Coca-Cola bottle.
Yes, that's the one. I remember. Your lenses would be so thick and everybody would think they were made from bottles.
Yeah, they would say, you are your Coca-Cola bottle eyes. And
Wow.
Sport lover, so I always wanted to play football. I played football and lawn tennis. And you can imagine trying to wear glasses and then play sports.
Imagine, just imagine if somebody kicked the ball and it hit you in the face.
All the glasses. That was like, it was always happening until a certain stage. My father got tired of I would purposely bring my glasses because my mom was always picking out huge frames that would almost overshadow my face. And I saw my classmates wearing recommended glasses, like fashion glasses, and it was sleek, it was so trendy. And I would always ask my mom to buy me those type of glasses, but she would always end up going to buy those big frames. And I couldn't understand why, but my lens was so thick that even if you try to cut and shape, it would break the machine blades. So they always ended up putting it in huge frames. So time my father was opportune to go abroad, so he took my lens number and then he got me these very sleek plastic glasses that the handles would coil around my ears, and he got it in different colors. And that was like my introduction to like sleek and chic
stylish glasses. All right, thank you so much. We're trying to keep our time to within 30 minutes, so we'll have to be brief and to the point with responses. So I'd like to, from your profile, you're a medical doctor. I don't know if you're still practicing. You're a medical doctor.
No.
Okay. So I just want to ask, how was it like, your journey to becoming a medical doctor with, your disability?
It was tough.
What were some challenges you faced?
It was challenging. There were days that I wanted to give up. And the painful part was that my parents didn't believe that I would do it or I could do it because of my disability. Now, I don't just have macular degeneration. I also have what we call a learning disability. We call it an invisible disability. I have what is called dyscalculia, meaning there is no way you will teach me maths that I can understand it.
Wow.
And in Nigerian schools, you must know math. So because of that condition, and I was undiagnosed, so my parents didn't actually know that there was a condition called dyscalculia. They tagged it that I was lazy. But once it comes to and anything written, I would excel. But the minute you brought calculation into the picture, I was dumb. I would call myself dumb. So it was a very challenging journey. There were times that I wanted to give up. There were times I cried and I felt I couldn't do it. And then when your parents don't even believe that you can do it, you don't even have a backbone to talk of. But I was fortunate to be surrounded by beautiful people. I met lecturers, white men that taught me, that made me believe in myself. I met a lot of people. People look at me, oh, you're Igbo and you're Muslim. How does that correlate? That was because I met a lot of Muslim people while I was in school. They were very great people, wonderful people that were my support base. They made me understand that I could do whatever I put my mind to do. And even when I graduated from medicine, my mom didn't believe it until she came for my convocation.
Wow.
She had to go see the results herself to be very sure.
Wow. You know, your story is really, really inspiring in the sense that you've highlighted, a few things that I can pick from your story is the importance of that support. Nobody can do life alone, with or without disability. So, and then with disabilities, even life is harder. So not having the support of the people that you care about most, the people who should care about you the most, because more often than not, let's face it, most times they don't know what to do. They don't know how to help. So they feel, the best way is to, cuddle you or, keep you safe. And they don't know that doesn't help. Yes, they are afraid of the world hurting you. So they feel the best thing they can do for you is tell you, don't go out, stay indoors. We don't want people to hurt you. But that does not help you, because eventually, whether you go out or not, the world is still around you.
Yeah, and you will interact with it. Said to become a medical doctor. My mom was like, no, you know how to argue very well. Just go and do lawyer. Go and read law. And it was an ongoing argument in my home. Now, my younger brother is a sickle cell patient. And my best friend, who would be my cousin, became crippled due to injection abscess. And I promised him that he would work, that I would make sure he would work. Now, my mom was, if you go and do law, you know how to speak English, you know how to argue, you know how to use technicalities. Wow. I hated law. That was the most painful thing. I hated law. I love to read, but I did not see myself reading law. I had this drive. I had a reason, because I wanted my brother to live. I wanted my brother to thrive, not just survive, but to thrive. And he was my only brother. I don't have them too. I wanted him to thrive. And that time, sickle cell was not really what it is now. So, you won't live more than 12 years. If he reached 12 years, thank God. And, every time he had an attack, or a crisis, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop and for them to say he didn't survive. So that was like those two people were like my key driving forces. Okay. I can imagine it must have been traumatic for you, battling your own condition, and then having to worry about, loved ones as well. So always being neglected for him, because his own condition is worse than your own. You can survive. I can imagine that, I can just, imagine what it's like. You will feel neglected, and at the same time, you can't really say anything about it. Yes. So, all right. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And, one other thing that I picked out, apart from, the importance of support, is the importance, that decision you have to make to go forward. I often tell people with disabilities that if there is one thing that separates those who thrive and those who just survive, is that key decision you make. You will come to a point, after all the tears and the pity party and all of that, you must come to a place for you to be able to, that crossroads you will come to, where you will have to decide, do I want to go on or do I want to stay stuck? So when you make that decision that you want to continue, that you believe that there's more, it's a pivotal moment for you. It changes the way you see things, changes the way you interact, it changes the way you think and see yourself. So
It does.
That's the eureka moment, because
yes,
as a person with disability, you have to struggle twice as hard to get anything done. Number two, you're going to face a lot of betrayals, a lot of heartache. People will take you for granted. People will want to use you and dump you. A whole lot, both in your education, your work, your personal lives, relationships. It's never easy. But the minute you have that eureka moment, the minute you sit down and you say, I can be more, I can be better. It doesn't matter what I've been through. It doesn't matter where I'm coming from. What matters is where I am going to. That's the eureka moment. That's the pivotal moment. Every time you get stuck, every time you are in tears, every time you look or see a challenge that you feel you cannot overcome, the minute you think back to that eureka moment, you stand up, wipe your brows, and then you just keep on moving.
Words on marble. Thank you. I don't think there's any more to be said, because that is it. It boils down to you. It all comes down to you. And when you talked about, taking up that responsibility for your loved ones, that's another thing that drives you. The ability to look beyond yourself, not just focus. When you become so focused on you, sometimes you may not see anything worth saving. You may not see yourself as, worthy. But when you look beyond yourself and see that there's someone out there who needs me, that now becomes a form of motivation, something that drives you and gets you to go forward. And for you, you took that.
Stuck in the victim mentality.
Yes.
Yes.
So for you, yes, that's a whole other conversation. Yes, that's a whole other conversation. That victim mentality, a whole other conversation. So, but for you, you took that a notch higher. You went beyond just your immediate circle. You decided there are people out there that I can be a shoulder to lean on. I can be, a hand to hold. I can be, that support. Just as you received support from people, you took it a notch higher and decided to get support. And I think that brings us to, what you are currently involved in. Your initiative, KODE-E and Teen Titans. So I'd like you to, just shed more light on those two initiatives that you're running. What are they about? Who are the target audience? And, just tell us briefly everything we need to know about that.
Okay, I am a cartoon addict, and I always loved watching cartoons. Now, the Teen Titans came from a cartoon that is called Teen Titans, where everybody on that team were superheroes, but were living with one disability or another. Most of the time, invisible disabilities. Now, I realized that because I had people that had the support system, I was able to break out from the victim mentality and from the pity party and then move forward. And I realized that a lot of people are living with disabilities, but they do not have that opportunity. They don't have somebody to pull them up. They don't have somebody to say, hey, it's going to get better. Just keep moving. They don't have that person that is the light at the end of the tunnel. So I decided to start up KODE-E and Teen Titans because I believe that tech would level the playing ground. Now, I was introduced to tech from a very early age when we were still using IBM computers and big screens and everything. So I believe tech could level the playing ground because tech helped me while I was in school. And then I started looking at how would people with disabilities, be they visually impaired, hearing impaired, speech impaired, physically challenged, or be they special needs like cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, autism, tech could bridge the gap. Because I have a belief that even if a child is not teachable, that child is trainable. Everybody does not have to go to school, but everybody can have a vocational skill. And tech is already, it was next level. It made the world smaller instead of vast. So I started this initiative. KODE-E is basically teaching kids with disabilities. It doesn't matter whether it's special needs, learning disabilities, invisible disabilities, or physical disabilities. It was teaching them coding. And Teen Titans was teaching kids vocational skills using tech. Now, you could draw using your computer. You could make a cartoon animation video using your computer. You could use pictures. Nowadays, you could use AI and turn pictures into videos and make short stories, short videos. You could use your computer to, design clothes and design house models. Now, these kids, I don't believe that anybody living with disability or special needs is bad or odd. I just believe that they are wired differently and they think differently. because an autistic child thinks different from a neurotypical child. But he might pass through different loops, but he would get there. And most times, these people with disabilities are geniuses. They are progenies, but nobody sees their genius or their progeny. They first of all see their disability. If you look at Isaac Newton, look at the fathers of science, fathers of mathematics, all of them were living with disabilities. 99% of them were living with disabilities. Isaac Newton was autistic. Michelangelo, he's a very famous painter, was autistic. So we could be better. We could do better. We could push them to be better. We could change the narrative. We could stop being victims and start being employers of labor. We could stop being employees and become leaders of industries. And then I started researching, and I found a particular 2 men. They are paralyzed from the neck down. They are on a wheelchair, and they only move their wheelchairs with their chin. They're in the US, and they own the largest robotic wheelchair company in the world.
Wow.
And I said, okay, fine. Let me start off with something. And why I call my beneficiaries Teen Titans is because they are titans. Titans are Greek gods of mythology. They are titans. They were bigger than the gods of Olympus. They were forces of nature. And I believe that every person with a disability that decides to step up is a force of nature. So every single beneficiary that I have has a titan name based on their ability and their disability. They have a titan name. So they would embody that name. It makes them, when we are in the space, when we are coding, when we are learning, when we are training, we don't call them by their given names. We call them by their titan names, so that it keeps reminding them that they are bigger, they are better.
There's more.
There's always more. They can't be more. And their disability is not a limitation. Their disability is a
superpower. I think it's a superpower. Yes. You have succeeded in gingering me. Even me, I'm feeling gingered right now. I'm gingered. Oh, Jesus. I need to go and find my own titan name. Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. You know, when I hear stories like this, it reminds me that, you know, in spite of whatever life throws at you, it's not always dark. It's not all hopeless. It's not all, you know, darkness. It's not all pins and needles. Sometimes there's always that silver lining. There's always hope if you are willing.
We learn to look at the glass half full instead of half empty.
Yes, it boils down to what you want to see.
That's why I call them titans. That's why we give each and every one of our beneficiary a titan name, because we make you remember. I have a lot of cartoons that have to do with the Greek titans and the Igbo gods and the native gods and goddesses, and you would see how they are portrayed in digital art. They are larger than life. They are doers of impossible things, and I make my beneficiaries believe that they can do impossible things that the world has said is impossible. I use other children as examples. We have Max. Max is 4. Max is 7 now. He is the youngest designer in the world. His clothes are on every fashion show that is a fashion show in the world. And Max is in the US. He started sewing at 4 years. He doesn't just design, he sews. And he's 4. He started at 4. And he's autistic. That's like the painful thing. And look at the little boy that painted the largest painting in Abuja. He's autistic. He didn't need his disability was not a limitation. It was the catapult that catapulted him into the Guinness Book of Records. Imagine using moppy stick to paint, and he's autistic.
You know, the beauty about disability is that, you know, the more you look at it, you know, like people with invisible disabilities, autism in particular, you find that sometimes, you know, the mind, you know, for those without, your mind tends to be limited when you are not able to. Yes, the way it's conditioned. But for persons with intellectual disability, you find that most of them are able to break free of that mode. If they're able to break free, their minds, you know, there are no boundaries to their minds. And so they're able to come up with these, they come up with these unbelievable ideas that even you're limited, your mind that has been constrained finds it difficult to, you know, accept.
their imagination is limitless.
Honestly, but that's how it's meant to be. That's how we were meant to be, but we have been conditioned to think within certain limitations. That's the problem. So, thank you so much. It's beautiful to hear stories like this, because I hope that especially for parents out there, because many times parents who have children, especially children with special needs, many parents out there tend to feel helpless, and they feel the only thing they can do. These children are often abandoned. Most of them are not even given a chance. Parents they feel overwhelmed and they don't know what to do. So I hope that somebody out there who will watch this will, hear these stories and then will be inspired to do more for their child who has a disability, or for that loved one who has a disability.
That's the reason why we are advocating and we are pushing the advocacy angle at KODE-E, because a lot of parents, if it's special needs, most of these children are undiagnosed. The parents don't know what is happening. It's my village people. It's the witch and wizard that is remembering me from my village. And then if your child is with a physical disability, they have remembered me. They have tied my child's mouth in the village. It's not, I keep telling, I say it's not your village, it's not your village people. It's a condition that can be. Now, when it comes to special needs, they are undiagnosed. They are majorly undiagnosed, especially in northern Nigeria where we are. Now, PhDs like Lagos, Port Harcourt, they've been exposed, but northern Nigeria, eastern Nigeria, they lock these children up. They take them to water and spiritual places to beat them and flog them and pat them in quotes. And then in other cases, if you see a child with disability, their parents tend to lock them inside the house. KODE-E started with one girl, Nirat. Were in a meeting. It was, if you know just weather, it was hailing, as in ice block was falling and everything. And the heavy breeze that comes with the hail removed the roof, from a nearby building. And we saw people running out. But from the window where we were upstairs, so we could see down. And we saw somebody cowering in a particular room. And we now started seeing reddish stuff. We're like, is that blood? And we went down to help. And we found out that she was blind. She was 13 at that time, and she was chained to the burglary of the window. She was locked in, and when we were able to break the chains and bring her out, first aid, treat her, and then her parents came home, I was crazy. I was mad. I was like, why would you lock her in? Like, she's blind now, let somebody not go and rape her when they are not around. So they used to lock her inside and put potty close to her. And then put her food inside the flask in case she wants to potty, and put a bucket of water close by. And I was like, what? Has she ever been to school? No. Person when never see road, I want to go to school. And Nirat was our first Teen Titan. Yes, we call her Athena because Athena is the goddess of the hunt.
Goddess of war.
Yeah, the goddess of the hunt. And Nirat is special. Nirat is our ground zero, because nobody believed that a blind girl could actually be anything. And then we taught her how to code without a screen. We taught her ABCs, how to read, how to write. And it's so wonderful. And we're so happy that Nirat is currently running her master's abroad in the UK on scholarship. And she's working with a very big tech company at the same time. And those same parents that locked her up are the same people that are now flying abroad and going for vacations. And they were like, they did not know that their child can become something. They were marry her off. Now, that is the normal Nigerian mentality when it comes to people with disabilities. Marry them off. Lock them inside. Marry them off. Or take them to one prayer house or another. Or at the end of the day, murder killings.
Wow. This, if we were to go into, the stereotypes, and a whole day will not be enough. A whole day will not be enough. But briefly, you've just brought us to my next question, and that is, just briefly share some, challenges that you have faced, and also victories. Because, let's not just, I know it hasn't been all bad. You've just shared one victory there, your very first Titan. You've just shared one victory. So share a few challenges, maybe one very key challenge that you have faced in the course of this, initiative. And then let's hear another victory story. I like happy endings.
Now, our major challenge is finance. That's the biggest challenge. Apart from finance, we have a very huge skill gap. Now, when it comes to people with disabilities, the learning aids, the teaching aids, the digital paraphernalia that we need are very expensive, right? Now, if you would buy a laptop for a visually impaired person, the laptop is screenless. and it's voice activated. It comes with a headset, right? Now, and it's a braille keyboard, in some cases a tactile keyboard. And these laptops are not produced in Africa. We have to import them. And one keyboard that is one laptop that is specifically made for a visually impaired person goes for 780,000, 800,000. That's minus shipping.
Wow,
it's that expensive. And then when you look at buying tablets or phones or even laptops for hearing impaired, visually impaired, physically challenged people, it's expensive too. Then when you talk of buying the digital things for autistic children and Down syndrome children or even cerebral palsy children, that's a whole different ballgame entirely. Because the grip be separate, the pouches are different, you would have to do a lot of tinkering, and all these things cost money. But the problem we have in Nigeria, Africa and Nigeria, is people don't like donating to people with disabilities, organization of people with disabilities. They will take it that the money is going to be, it's now waste. I once met a House of Assembly member, I won't call names, and he said, when we went and we introduced KODE-E, Teen Titans, I went with a colleague, he's a chartered accountant, but he's physically challenged. He wears a metal shoe and has an iron brace, and he can't wear plain trousers or corporate trousers because the iron will tear it. He has to wear reinforced jeans. And he's a chartered accountant, ICANN, ANANG, and all that. But he doesn't have a job because every time he goes to seek for a job, they'll tell him, the excuse they usually use is he's not dressed for the corporate environment. So the both of us went to this House of Assembly member on the platform. And then we asked him, we introduced everything. We are looking for funding, sir. Support us. And he was like, Una de Chris. It just be like, so make I carry the money through inside fire. I carry my money through away for bush.
Really?
And after he told us that when we are leaving, he gave us 5,000. Yes. When we are leaving, he gave us 5,000 naira for transport. And we rejected it and we walked out. He was telling the guy with the purchase, no offense. And we walked out. So that is like one of our major challenges. Finance and donations of things in cash and kind is an issue. Because people still don't believe that people with disabilities and special needs can be anything. The second thing is the skill gap. A lot of teachers, a lot of trainers, they don't know how to teach and train people with disabilities. They don't. So you would find out that when you are looking for a sign language translator, it's difficult. How many people know how to do sign language? If you are looking for somebody that will be patient enough to teach a cerebral palsy person how to code, you would find out that the learning curve is not the same with a neurotypical child as opposed to a neurodiverse child or a child with a disability. The learning curve is different. It's usually flatlining and then it goes up sharp and then comes down again, as opposed to a neurotypical child that will be curving on its own. But the thing is, the skill gap is terrible when it comes to including healthcare. A lot of doctors and nurses do not know how to diagnose special needs and disabilities. They don't know how to treat them. They don't know how to, ask them for their signs and symptoms. A lot of doctors don't know how to teach these children. We have plenty of people in special education. They are going through the special education, but the special education is not going through them. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they are going through the special education isn't going through them.
All right.
They can't relate with people with disabilities and special needs. And then you find out that because they're always being isolated in their own schools, school for the blind, school for the deaf. You understand me? They're special, they're always being isolated. Neurotypical children don't know how to relate with neurodiverse children. Neurodiverse children don't know how to relate with neurotypical children. So it's a mess. And that's the biggest challenge we face. Because before every project, we'd have to take months to train the trainers. Yes. We'd have to teach them. You can improvise. You can use bottle covers and improvise. You can use carton and improvise. You just have to be patient. You have to teach it over and over again. And then you can teach it this way. Don't expect it to go this way. And then by the time we go before you now start the project proper. So you can imagine the stress. And then we don't have finance. We are being self-funded. We still haven't gotten a single grant. Maybe because we are not fully registered, because money is always going into something or another. So that's the challenges. And then our victories are that these children are thriving, right? They are thriving. I would want you to go on a site called World Pulse. And if you go on World Pulse, you will see some of our beneficiaries. We have Eros, we have Athena, we have Gaia. All of them have a unique thing that they do, right? We have Amadioha. Amadioha's real name is Igwe. He's 7. He's autistic, but he makes internet security architecture. Wow. Yes. We have Khadija. Khadija has low vision, and then she has a learning disability. And Khadija she is Aphrodite because she loves everybody, and she has this flair for fashion. And you would see her wanting to draw at every point in time, whether the drawing is fine or not. And then the minute we were able to get a tab for her, she started, and then we taught her how to use the tab. Now, the painful thing is she's still in grade 1. She's 15, and she's still in grade 1. But it took her approximately 3 months to learn how to design clothes with a tablet.
Wow.
But we were able to, turn that into a learning tool. So instead of her just drawing, we taught her how to draw with points, and each point stood for an alphabet and a number. And that's how she learned her alphabet and her numbers, because she had to design clothes using alphabets and numbers. Now, these are things that we are proud of. Now, very soon we are hoping that we are able to get funding to buy more laptops and buy sewing machines, shoemaking machines, because we would move from designing online to be able to sew. And imagine a girl with a learning disability, low vision, wearing bottle cover glasses like mine. Because her parents even afford the glasses. We still can't afford buying her glasses because hers is a special order lens and it's expensive, and we still can't afford it. So she still reads like this. So you can imagine her having the tab, and then she's holding the tab like this.
But there's hope. There's hope. There's
this wonderful woman that her name is Hajia Mariam. We also call her Gaia. Now, Hajia Mariam is a head teacher in Sunda Private in Angwarogo here in Jos. And they have a school that they were helping people. It's a Muslim school. They were teaching children both Islamia and, conventional education. And she is a special needs or special education graduate. At least this particular one, the special education passed through her, and she passed through it. And then she asked her husband for 2 classes. And in that 2 classes, she started going house by house in Angwarogo and Angwarimi. And then she'd be like, please just bring her to school. She would go every morning to every special needs and disabled child's house and bring them to school. She was the one sourcing money for their uniforms. They don't even have chairs in the special needs classes. They sit on the ground on mats. And she has been doing a whole lot. And a lot of our beneficiaries are from there. And it's wonderful to see them bloom. Go from lahu to speaking good English. It's wonderful to see them being curious about their environment. Auntie, I want to do this. I want to be able to make a house. I want to make a shoe. Can this shoe be like this? Recently, one of the beneficiaries said, Auntie, can't we make a car that can move on water? I was like, go and start designing it. Stop asking me. Yes, funny enough, he has been designing prototypes with cartons and trying to float them on water. And each design is getting there one at a time. That's the funny thing. It's getting there.
The barriers.
I was like, but Oyibo has done it. He said, this is not Oyibo angle. This is Nigerian angle. We are doing it for African river and African sea. I thought, sorry, but don't be offended. Just continue. And
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
The victories, these are the small wins that makes us keep moving forward.
They're by no means small. They are by no means small. When you look at the context in which they have happened, they are by no means small. Because when you consider, the child from, with the perspective of the challenges you have faced, these are huge wins. For you to have come this far, these are huge wins when you look at where you're coming from and, the road you have had to walk. These are huge. As far as I am concerned, these are huge wins. Not everybody can do what you do. So I really applaud you. I am wowed. I am impressed. Not everybody can do what you do. It takes a whole lot of, it goes beyond passion. It goes beyond passion. So thank you so much for what you are doing. And, for us to round up, because this conversation is so interesting. If I let it go on, we'll finish. So just to round up, let's hear your final remarks. What do you want to share? What do you want to say? Just briefly, maybe in 1 minute.
First thing is not your village people. I still keep hammering on it. It is not your village people. It is a condition that can be managed. Your special needs child, your child living with a disability, they are gifts from God. They are not curses. They are not punishments. They are gifts from God. And when you start seeing them that way, the change that you will see will be out of this world. Secondly, invest in your child with disability. Because most times we have to do all these things from our pockets. We don't have people financing or funding us. We want people to fund us, because we are not just after the children, we're after their parents and caregivers. Because being a parent or a caregiver of a child with a disability or special needs is emotionally draining, you are mentally unstable 99% of the time. And we have programs that we try to hold to help our parents and caregivers of children with disabilities and special needs. And stop insulting your neighbor that has a special needs child. We know that it's difficult, but we also know that it can only get better. Because when you go down to your lowest, the only way to go is up. And that's what we believe at KODE-E. Because
Thank
it's
you
from
so much.
a roar. We believe that everything starts very small. So it's from a trickle to a roar. We believe that with time, we are running at a trickle right now. With time, we will be a roar. And the condition, the lives, and the living conditions and standards of individuals with disabilities and special needs will change for the better, especially in our country.
Amen. I say amen to that. It can only get better. I will echo that. It can only get better. For anyone with a disability out there who is standing on their own, who has been able to move past, the stereotypes and, what people have said, that it can only get better. So it's not just a cliche. We are not just saying something nice, as long as you make that decision. So Chika, it has been quite an enjoyable experience. It's been wonderful having you with us. Thank you so much for coming on the program. And for someone out there, thank you. So for someone out there who is watching this video, I hope that this gives you hope. And I hope that you hold on to that. I pray that you hold on to that hope and let it be the one that one thing that will ignite a spark in you and help you to move forward and take that leap that you need. Because from what we have said here today, nothing is impossible unless you allow it to be. There's so much you can be. There's so much more to you as a woman with a disability, as a parent who has a child with a disability. That child has so much to offer. The world is waiting for them to manifest. So thank you so much for joining us this week. We'll come your way next week, Saturday, same time, 10:30 a.m. with Bold TV. Bold Stories will come your way again by the next quarter. So just be looking out for us. We'll be here again with another special guest that we will showcase. Thank you for joining us. If you want to support us, we appreciate your likes, your comments, and your shares. Check out our other videos on our YouTube channel, Facebook page. Please do well to share these videos far and wide. Somebody out there needs to hear what we are saying. So thank you so much for joining us. And till we come your way again next time, have a wonderful week. Thank you. So Halima, say bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
This is Bold TV.